You're listening to a serious podcast. What did you just say?
What?
What did you say?
Say it again. Fuck, he's probably just dead.
Okay, that's how we're starting. Welcome
to a serious podcast. I'm Julian.
And I'm Nick.
And this week, we're switching it up.
We're switching things up a bit.
We're calling this episode Freaky Friday.
Freaky Friday, yeah. What are we talking about today, Nick? What are we talking about?
I thought you were Nick.
Oh, shit. Julian, what are we talking about today, Julian?
Shouldn't you answer that, Julian?
Stupid. Today, I'm doing the podcast myself. All right.
Featuring the voices in my head.
So today we're talking about the Myers-Briggs personality test.
Yes. And I think the kind of question swirling around in my head when it comes to this stuff is, do you even think that these personality tests are effective? And if so, how do you think they're useful to us?
Okay.
Like as people. I personally, I think for the Myers-Briggs one, it's the one that makes the most sense to me because it goes through so many different, it goes over so many different areas. It's not just one. You have things like the 4 lenses, which is just gold, orange, green, and blue. Yeah. And it's super broad, and it doesn't really it's just kind of an odd combination of things to me to try and throw together. I think it's too general.
Yeah, for sure.
To me anyway. But and then there's stuff like astrology, which that's completely pseudoscience.
Yeah.
But these personality tests aren't really proven to be scientifically based, or you know what I mean? So I'm going to do some Googling real quick.
Let me go on their website real quick and tell you what I see. So I'm on Myers-Briggs.org. Yeah, so I'm on Myers-Briggs.org. That's
okay.
Their website. And so it says on the about, right, this page, it says the purpose of the Myers-Briggs type indicator personality inventory is to make the theory of psychological types described by C.G. Jung understandable. Young. Carl Jung. Okay, I didn't see that.
You're good.
Understandable and useful in people's lives. The essence of the theory is that much seemingly random variation in the behavior is actually quite orderly and consistent, being due to basic differences in the ways individuals prefer to use their perception and judgment. I've taken it before when I was in high school, and then I've just recently today I took it again.
Yep.
And mine switched up, but it didn't switch up a lot, which makes me believe that this is actually it's a legit type test, you know?
So I also took mine before, and I took mine a week ago because we were talking about doing this topic for an episode.
Yeah.
And mine didn't change at all. I got the same thing, which actually surprised me a little bit.
Yeah.
Because I've noticed some changes in my my ways of thinking and stuff like that.
For sure.
But I guess those ways of changing or those ways of thinking haven't shifted enough to actually be placed into a different category. So what were you before and what are you now?
Okay.
According to this. By the way, we took the test on the same site both times, and it was on 16personalities.com.
Yeah, you can take it too for free. Yeah. Yeah, so what was I before and what was I
now?
Okay. What am I now? All right. So I took the test in high school. I would say I was I was probably 15 or something. It was an entry level high school thing. So freshman year.
Yeah.
Whatever that is. Probably 15. And I got INFJ. It's called The Advocate. And a little blurb about it. We'll go deeper into them, but a little blurb about The Advocate is it's quiet and mystical, yet very inspiring and tireless idealists. And today I took the test, and this was what I mean, so it's been 10 years since I've taken it before, and now I've gotten INFP, which is the mediator, which says poetic, kind, and altruistic people, always eager to help a good cause.
So, and I actually think your example is a better litmus test for this type of thing because it's been such a long time.
Yeah.
And it's only shifted ever so slightly. Like you're still in the same, because each personality type is, it's grouped, it's in a group of 4.
Yeah.
So let me see. There's the analysts, the diplomats, the sentinels, and the explorers. And then, and you're still a diplomat. Both of those were still under the diplomat thing. There's actually a little descriptor. Mine has only been about 2 years apart. I took mine roughly a year and a half, 2 years ago, and I got INFJ, and then I got INFJ again. So in and of itself, it's pretty rare for both of us to be INFJ or INFP. INFP is still pretty rare. It's only 4% of the population, according to the website.
Yeah.
And according to the statistics out there, INFJ makes up about 1% of the population. I think it's a little less than 1% of the population. And then INFP is about 4%. So mine didn't change that much over the course of 2 years. And I think it's still that's still a good chunk of time, especially when you're, from like 19 to 21. Those are pretty, turbulent years in terms of like your development as a person. At least mine, these past couple of years have been pretty turbulent for me. There's been a lot of change, a lot of growth and stuff like that. So, and of course, I'm not saying I'm grown up per se. I'm still changing, but the fact of the matter is there has been a lot of change that's happened, and I've still gotten the same results. But my follow up is yours did change slightly over 10 years, which and you went from J to P, so you went from judging to, what was it, the last one? And we can go over like.
Oh yeah. So yeah, we can break it down too.
So all right,
we can break it down.
I'll go ahead and do that.
Okay.
So according to under the 16 personalities, there's our framework, and it's broken down into 5 personality aspects: mind, energy, nature, tactics, and identity. Under mind, that's how you interact with your surroundings, and there's introversion and extroversion. So whether you're introverted or extroverted. For energy, it determines how you see the world and process information, and those 2 traits are observant and intuitive. And then there's nature. This aspect determines how we make decisions and cope with emotions. And those 2 traits are thinking and feeling. Then there's tactics. This aspect reflects how our approach to work planning, and decision making, and those 2 are judging and prospecting. And then identity is underpins all others, showing how confident we are in our abilities and decisions, and that's assertive and turbulent.
Yeah, so that's at the end, right? So you have your 4-letter code, and then at the end you are either that plus, you're assertive in that aspect, or you're turbulent in that aspect as well, right?
Yes.
'Cause that's the last one. It'll tell you, so this says on the same website, it says, assertive individuals tend to be calm, relaxed, and free from worry. Turbulent types are more likely to be self-conscious perfectionists, concerned about their abilities or about how others
eager to improve
perceive them. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But it's kind of weird, though. I thought...
I actually didn't pay attention to the identity part when I got it. I think I was more turbulent, but I think that was one of the aspects that I kind of fell on the line with. Mm-hmm. Because I feel pretty assertive, like as far as their description is. I'm pretty resistant to stress. I don't stress out too easily. But but I don't know that could go either way a little bit. But you shifted from judging, so your tactics aspect shifted from judging
to
prospecting. So
is there blurbs on those too?
Yeah. So judging individuals are decisive, thorough, and highly organized. They value clarity, predictability, and closure, preferring structure and planning to spontaneity. Prospecting individuals are very good at improvising and spotting opportunities. They tend to be flexible, relaxed, nonconformists who prefer keeping their option open. Now,
that doesn't sound like me at all.
What? That's exactly you.
Read it again.
Prospecting individuals are very good at improvising and spotting opportunities. They tend to be flexible, relaxed, nonconformists who prefer to keeping their options open. You are always talking to me about how you don't want to commit to stuff.
Yeah.
Because,
okay. Yeah, I can see that now.
At least as of late, like you're like, I want to make, like, I don't want to like fall into some sort of routine of like, to where I'm committed to something where I might not be into it later on. That part actually makes a lot of sense to me. But I didn't think. See, you seem more of an analytical type to me. So from the outside looking in, you're more of an analytical type to me. But I can also see like you're definitely introverted for sure. So that part makes sense to me. Intuitive. You are very imaginative. You're very open-minded, and you are curious. You know what? Actually, it does make a lot of sense. A lot of it does make a lot of sense now that I'm thinking about it.
So some of the questions that were a part of it, a lot of them related to like whether or not I acted on emotions with certain things, or whether or not I acted on logic. So the problem with that for me was if it's a sudden change, then yes, I'm going to act on emotion. But if I have time, some questions revolved around both. Yeah. They asked me, like, if you had time or whatever, how would you go about this? And if I had time to do it, I would go, like, the logic route.
Right.
I would try to always go the logic route. But when it came to, like, super sudden moments where it just required a choice,
right,
then those were emotional decisions that I made.
Yes. I think that's... I think that's how most. It's like because your knee jerk reaction to a lot of things is going to be based off emotion and instinct. So, but once you're able to back yourself up and give yourself some distance on stuff, you can usually, if you're a reasonable person, you can usually logic your way out of something. Depending, but yeah. So, were you neutral on any of the questions though?
So my test results are showing me introverted 72%.
Okay.
Intuitive 83%, feeling 61%, prospecting 76%, and then turbulent 81%. So I mean, kind of like middle ground, or not middle. Sorry.
Those are pretty decent. I actually do not have my. I think I have my old results. I do not have my new results though.
No worries. Yeah. So also, when you take this test, listeners, if you decide to, after you're done taking the test, make sure to like send it to your email or whatever, because it'll still have the breakdown and it'll still have the profile and stuff. So you can just click on the link and then it'll take you back to when you ended the test. It's not something that, I mean, like, it's good and it's easy to remember like your letters for the personality type that you are, but if you wanted to see like the full breakdown, it'll mail it to you. So for judging and perceiving, I'm reading this again. It says the following statements apply to me, and I want to read the judging ones first.
Okay.
And it says, I like to have things decided. I appear to be task oriented. I like to make lists of things to do. I like to get my work done before playing. I plan work to avoid rushing just before a deadline. Sometimes I focus so much on the goal that I miss new information. That was from the judging category. These are like the types of questions, if you remember them as I was reading them. Do you remember some of those questions appearing? Like, I appear to be task oriented, or I like to have things decided beforehand.
Yeah, or you try to respond to your emails as soon as possible and cannot stand a messy inbox.
Yeah. Yeah, and when I go to perceiving, the following statements generally apply to me. I like to stay open to respond to whatever happens. I appear to be loose and casual. I like to keep plans to a minimum. I like to approach work as play or mix work and play. I work in bursts of energy. I'm stimulated by an approaching deadline. Sometimes I stay open to new information so long as I miss making decisions when they are needed. So that makes so much sense when you read the ones that say the following statements generally apply to me. Because as far as like judging is concerned, I guess like organization is part of that. Like keeping all your stuff organized. The problem with me is I would like to have my stuff organized, but sometimes, and I've gotten to that point, and I think that's why I'm at the perceiving side of it now, is because I actually have everything organized until eventually it was like, basically I said, screw it.
Yeah.
And that's when it became I like to stay open and respond to whatever happens.
Well, I mean, you did
loose and casual.
You did get a family in that time frame.
Yeah, that's true as well.
I feel like you might have to stay a little bit more adaptable, and when it comes to raising a family, because stuff comes up or whatever.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, this last one says sometimes I stay open to new information so long I miss making decisions when they are needed, or. I mean, I think that's true for me as well. But some of them on the other side are also true for me too. Like for judging, sometimes I focus so much on the goal that I miss new information. I mean, sometimes I can be so task oriented where it's like, oh shit, you told me to do this, I forgot. Like
I don't think it's I feel like
thing?
almost it's like you're not supposed to figure out, like, because you know how you respond in specific situations, and each one of these things you can almost say it depends on. Yeah. Like, it just depends.
Yeah.
However, I think it's more of trying to get a baseline of what your default is. Like, how do you normally, like, where's your head at whenever these situations arise? You know what I mean? And so, like I was saying, because we were talking a little bit about this earlier, like, these things I think are better served as a framework instead of like how you determine the core of who you are. You know what I mean? Like, more of just a framework of, oh, this is generally how your mind works when it comes to things. But that's just my personal opinion.
So I know schools use it a lot, and this is the reason why my school used it, was to, because there's career paths on there, right? Also, yeah, listeners, I forgot to tell you guys this. When you go to your test results, you can see the career types for whatever thing it is. So like for INFP, we'll go to career types. That's for mine, right? Career paths, it says. Career paths. What? Does it not say it? Did I not click it or something?
I personally I think it'd be useful for like a freshman to come into high school and take the test, and then they take the test again when they're a senior.
Ooh, that would be nice.
And then see what's changed, try to figure out why that's changed, and go from there, and maybe operate a little bit more based on that,
I was looking for careers.
Can you not find it? Because you got to go to a specific...
Yeah.
So, like, I'm on Career Pass right now for, like, INFJs.
Yeah. You are right now?
Yeah.
Is that on 16 Personality's website?
Yeah.
So I click Career Pass, but it's like, I thought I was going to get bulleted information.
Oh, no. Yeah. It's just like a general... Because they don't really have bullets, like...
I mean, they have websites.
They do have websites out there, but, like... it'll just give you a good summary of the way your brain works and like and what that personality type is going to thrive in versus like for INFJs, there is a part that goes roles as counselors, psychologists, doctors, life coaches, and spiritual guides are all attractive options.
Yeah,
but it's also like they can also thrive in pretty much anything. They want meaning in whatever they do, So
that's for INFJ.
Yeah.
So I still feel a little bit like that too.
Well, let me pull up.
But let me say, I want to see if this actually says it, what I'm thinking right now.
Okay.
So I did used to feel that way, where I wanted meaning in everything I do.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it's kind of like I make the best out of what I do. Does that make sense?
That's what it gets at too. It's like there's a bullet point where that's for INFJs, but
okay.
But for INFJs, it says INFJs needs don't end at meaning, though. Any productive work can be rationalized to be meaningful, as any productive work helps someone somewhere. So
is that for INFP?
That's for INFJ.
Okay.
But let's see what it says for INFPs. Most at any cause, idea, or field can benefit from the artful and natural expression that INFPs bring to the table. And INFPs have their pick of the world in choosing who they work with. Some INFPs will prefer a still more personal touch, being able to work face-to-face with clients, seeing that their personal effort really impacts another's quality of life.
Oh, okay. I can see what that means then. It's more like you want to see the effect that your work has.
Service careers such as massage therapy, physical rehabilitation, counseling, social work, psychology, and even academic roles and retraining can be exceptionally rewarding for INFPs who take pride in the progress and growth that they help to foster.
Whoa, that's big, actually. That's actually
I mean, does that
pretty big.
Kind of line up with...
I don't know if it lines up with any sort of change, but at one point, I remember when I was younger that... I mean, okay, so yeah, I do remember when I was younger that like I want to find meaning in what I do, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I would say now I still want to find meaning in what I do. I think everybody should or does, at least to an extent.
Yeah, I just think some people are more okay with the humdrum of like 9 to 5.
Oh, yeah.
Some people just accept it more than others.
Yeah.
But everybody, some people just are okay with coming in and doing their job and going home because they get meaning out of other aspects of their life.
Yeah.
So
what I actually do, though, recently, I guess within the past 5 years, have enjoyed watching fruits of my work, I guess.
Yeah,
just
of course.
Tiny things it'll be or whatever. And I mean, like, the community that we work in is such a small community that we can see changes over the course of years, and we can see other people benefit from what we've directly impacted. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think, well, the thing is, too, is that it's pretty much what it gets at both with, like, INFJs and INFPs is that even if the work itself is not ideal to be in, if it's still a job where you can apply, like, creativity and critical thinking into solving issues, you can still be content with that type of work. And that's the kind of sort of career field that we currently work in. We do have to be creative and do some problem solving and stuff like that. But it's ironic to me because it says where INFPs will not thrive is in a high stress, team heavy, busy environment that burdens them with bureaucracy and tedium, which is super ironic to me.
Yeah.
Because you actually do thrive in our current work environment. It says
I would say that is the biggest backdrop, though. Those reasons are the biggest backdrop. Like, if there was some way for me to do better, it would probably be to not do something that's so high stress or whatever. I would love a job, and I think you would too. I mean, like, INFJs and INFPs both have really good community and social service talking to people type jobs. Like, okay, so for example, INFJ, which is you, right? It would be clinical psychologist, counselor, social worker, speech pathologist, and a clergy. That would so
big clergyman.
Yeah, he'd be a clergyman. No, but seriously though, I've seen you, right? And you're still getting your psychology degree, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, if that becomes a career path for you one day, I mean, like, that's obviously something you wanted to do, right?
Yeah, and that was something I wanted to do before I knew of the test. That was just a natural interest that I had.
But reading these, okay, so yeah, that would be you, right? I want to see if there's a difference between these. So mine, INFP would be mental health counselor, school or career counselor, community service manager, or social worker.
Yeah. It says here on the 16 personalities site, it is perhaps more challenging for INFPs to find a satisfying career than any other type. Though intelligent, the regimented learning style in most schools makes long years earning an advanced degree a formidable undertaking for people with the INFP personality type.
What do you mean?
So basically, I think what the main difference between J and P is that J's have an easier time taking the steps towards their goals than the P's do. So with a lot of those types of career paths that we were just talking about, it talks like a lot of those have like clinical psychology. That's something that takes a long time for you to earn. And so it might be harder for an INFP to stick to all the years of going through school and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, so that is also I would see that as a problem too, because you see if I just had the job randomly, if I was given the job,
right,
and somehow knew all the information that I was able to do, I'd thrive.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But it's all the steps that you have to take to get there that I think,
and not seeing any progress.
Yeah, and it seems that INFPs are the more spontaneous between them and the INFJs. INFJs have a hard time with routine as well. I know I personally have a hard time with routine. There's just little stuff that like I naturally do or think that after reading through this stuff, like there's like these little things that kind of line up. You know what I mean? Yeah. But if you look through them, like there's a lot of similarities.
There's way more, right? So we're only going over 2.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's 16 to go through, and if you want to find your own, and read that.
Well, I was reading. I went through like a couple of the other ones, and just to see if like I would get that like, oh, this totally applies to me too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it definitely doesn't. I definitely see like the differences, but maybe like I'm already biased because I already took it and know that I'm an INFJ.
Yeah, we should do that. We should grab somebody.
And like hand them like the papers and tell them like, oh, this is that. I mean,
we could take the test for them, right? Or we can have them take the test before they come on the show or whatever. If we wanted to do something like that, and just don't tell them to read the results,
right? Or they can say, well, I want to see it kind of like that one video we talked about where we have them take the test, they get like their fucking ISFP, and then we hand them the results from INFJ or something like that, and see if they like read it. Okay. Yeah, see if they read it, and then they're like,
that applies to me.
That's so me, and then we're like, Then that one thing we were taught, that one effect, I forgot what it was called.
I forgot what it was called too. There was
But then we can hand them the real results at the end, and if they're like, oh, that doesn't apply to me at all.
Yeah. But, I mean, it would be good, though, to see that. I found another website. Sorry.
Okay.
What were you going to say?
No, you're good.
Okay, so if you go to truity.com, like TRUITY.com, so they have personality type. If you go over the personality types, they have for each personality type, that's all it's for, basically. Each personality type and what jobs you could take. The overview, what careers you can have, what type of relationships work for you with other personalities.
This one is not free.
I'm on it. I didn't pay for it.
I'm talking about the test.
Oh, they have a take a test thing?
They have a bunch of different tests. They have 5 different tests. One's find your ideal partner's type, understand your temperament, free way to explore your... so they have a few free tests, and then they have some other. Yeah.
Damn. I was gonna say. Let me see. Where's your? I'll send you this.
I'm on the site.
Oh, okay. I didn't. I just looked it up and I was able to find like more careers or whatever. But yeah, so it has both personality types. Jeez, where'd that page go? Okay, yeah. So it has your personality types, the career fields, and it'll tell you why that career field's good for you too. It's not just gonna say, "Oh yeah, you'll be good at psychology," and then on the other one, it's like, "Oh, you'll also be good at psychology."
So got you.
Yeah. So for like yours, it says for counseling and social service. And I don't know why it says it now on mine, but for INFP, maybe I'm in the wrong spot. Let me see. Okay, so it'll tell me. So it'll say, let's see, INFP career facts: second lowest average income of all the types. Jeez, most likely of all types to stay at home with their children. Yeah. Fourth lowest job in satisfaction out of all the types. Slightly more likely than average to be self-employed. Oh, because they have like lots of art and design.
Yeah, they do. Same for
business is another one, like entrepreneurship. That would be. It says fundraiser too.
Yeah.
Jeez, anthropologist? I don't think I'd be able to do any of this.
Anthropology is pretty cool, man.
It would be cool, but I like it was just talking. Just money wise, I don't know. That would suck. But yeah, no, all of these jobs are dreamer jobs. You know what I mean? A lot of them, not all of them.
Like
a lot of them are.
Under here, there's for INFJ anyway. There's physical therapist. For healthcare, I'm just gonna list off a couple. Physical therapist, public health educator, family physician. Then counseling. There's clinical psychologist, counselor, social worker. And then sciences, social scientist, genealogist, food scientist, business and law, HR manager, corporate trainer, environmental attorney, education, elementary teacher, special education teacher and school counselor, language and arts, librarian, curator, editor, writer. There's a bunch of those.
Language ones.
Yeah.
I don't even have languages and arts on mine at
really?
all. Yeah. I don't have. So many. I'm reading the blurb right above where you read. Many INFJs love the expressive quality of language, and they typically have the focus and concentration necessary to be excellent writers and editors. Other areas of the arts appeal as well. Sample artistic careers for INFJs, and then that's where it said musician, interior designer, and stuff like that. Mine has arts and design, so mine got rid of like the.
Yeah, it does.
The language aspect of it. It's only 4 things. It has fine artist, fashion designer, graphic designer, multimedia artist, which makes sense. I'm surprised it doesn't have music in here, though.
I had musician in mine.
Yours has musician in yours, yeah. It's the focus and concentration, I think. Oh, okay. That makes a lot of sense then.
I was say like I'm not.
So as I've grown, right? Like,
you have a little bit more. Like you said, it's a little bit more spontaneity. You have a bunch of different interests, and so your mind darts around a lot with that.
For sure, and being one of those, an artist or musician or whatever like that, or even like writers and stuff like that, which is on here.
I feel like I get pretty focused on the stuff that I work on.
Yeah. Yeah, it just depends. I mean, I would get focused on it if I had time to.
Well, there's like it's one of those things where if I start something, I realize pretty quickly whether or not I actually care about that thing, and then if I don't care about it, I just let it drop to the wayside. But pretty much everything that I've actually given a shit about, I've continued on and kept doing.
Yeah. I mean, so far it seems pretty all right. Let me. I want to find out.
So
what
far,
that blind test was.
Even though I'm still like take it with a grain of salt type of thing. I still feel I'm definitely inclined to say this is pretty accurate. I mean, how do you feel about it? How do you think about it? Like, do you think it's spot on for you? Do you think it's
as far as all the other ones? I mean, this has continued to be something that I've thought about. And because of the accuracy, right? I I've also done what you've done, right, and read through some of the like other personalities on the like the ENTP side or in the ES side.
Yeah.
And those are like completely opposite of what I am.
Yeah.
I mean, I am bipolar in some aspects. Like I can be bipolar in some aspects where not like
Well,
not like the disorder, but like on two sides of the spectrum where like sometimes I can be an extrovert, but you have to. It just depends.
Yeah, there's definitely a big environmental impact as well. Like what's going on in your environment. You know, we're in a military environment, and so you have to take a minute to think. Oh, I wonder how that type of environment has impacted. You know.
Yeah.
Their ways of thinking or their personalities or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I think there are a few gaps in my results, but I think being in the military is a product of that. I think if I hadn't gone into the military, I think this would have been probably spot on. I think I would have developed a little bit more closer in line completely with the INFJ.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
For sure. So
I just think the military thing has brought it over a little bit.
Yeah.
You know
definitely.
what I mean?
No, definitely.
I think, and I don't know if it's like in a cynical way or if like it's in a. I think I definitely have a darker sense of humor because of it, and I think that can. I think I can come across as callous in a lot of ways, and I think that is a bit of a byproduct, not just because of like my upbringing, but also because of being in the military a little bit. You know, because you kind of have to be a little callous.
Yeah.
To be in the military. And that goes for all branches. It doesn't matter what branch you're in.
I mean, it is fast-paced too, right? It's
Air Force is probably the least callous, but and even then, it doesn't matter what branch you're in. You have career fields too, like it's separate career because you could be in the Army and do computer stuff, or you can be in the Air Force and be like in special ops or something like. You know what I'm saying? Like
they have like.
That degree of severity that I was talking about a minute ago would be different depending on what job you actually do in your branch of military.
I mean, but either way,
I just think generally people who join the military become a little bit more callous than people who aren't in the military. You know?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's.
And I know I'm saying that. I'm just explaining myself a little bit more.
You're good. Yeah. No,
I just think that we have some realities that other people don't have.
Definitely.
So.
So I found it. I found the damn thing. So it was the Barnum effect.
The Barnum effect.
Yeah. So I remember this now a lot after I'm reading this. This is awesome. Yeah. So this was what I think we both like know of it, right? But yeah, this was in my psychology class in college. And it says, this is on some Fullerton website. Actually, this is very close to where I was at. Okay, so yeah, it says, the Barnum effect is named after P.T. Barnum, the showman who declared there is a sucker born every minute. I always hear that, but I always forget where that came from. So he found many ways to separate suckers, as he called gullible people, from their money. Basically, it was it's called the Barnum like description or whatever. Mm-hmm. Here's an example. You have a great need for other people to like you and admire you. You have a great deal of unused capacity, which you have not turned to your advantage. Disciplined and self-controlled outside, you tend to be worrisome and insecure inside.
And what is this for?
This is the Barnum effect. This is remember, so this is the test that you would give people. You take a random test, and then they would spit out the Barnum effect. These simple lines that could apply to anybody. Yeah. So it's also like the horoscope thing, right? The effect that a horoscope has on a person. It's the exact same thing. You pride yourself as an independent thinker and do not accept others' statements without satisfactory proof. I mean, it could be like that.
That could literally apply to everyone. Yeah.
Exactly. You have a tendency to be critical of yourself. you have a tendency means
You
if
at
you
times
weren't critical of yourself, you can be critical sometimes. I mean, anybody can be critical sometimes. At times, you see, it's again, at times you have serious doubts as to whether you have made the right decision or done the right thing. At times, you are extroverted. Oh, yeah, sometimes sociable. While at other times, you're introverted, wary, reserved. That one's horrible. It's like at sometimes you're extroverted, sometimes you're introverted. While you have some personality weaknesses, you are generally able to compensate for them. So basically, on this website that I'm on, I guess the professor ran this in their class, and students would raise their hand and declare, well, I was right to rate it as very accurate because you gave everyone my description. Yeah, and then everyone else is like laughing because it's like, no, you gave them my description.
Oh, shit.
So, yeah, that's where it
I
was
like shit like that.
Yeah. This shows how easy it is to be fooled by psychics, quack psychotherapists, fake faith healers, and others who use this technique to make people think that they really know and understand them, when in fact it's just a spiel or game played as a prank. Oh, so yeah, magicians. Magicians use a method called the art of cold reading to give people the impression of a very accurate psychic reading. This same method is used by quack psychics and others to separate the gullible from their money. They showed us that in that class too, but I forgot. They showed a couple different videos, like psychics.
Mm-hmm.
Like, have you ever seen some psychic shows? I know they have, like, Sylvia Browne I think she had a show for a while, or at least she wrote a lot of books. And then John Edwards, I think his name was Jonathan Edwards. They had their, like, own, in the 90s, their own, like, oh, I can see, like, oh, I'm talking to your grandma or whatever. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But they would just, I guess it would just be like the art of, like, suggestion, I guess. If they were to see, I don't know. I don't know how easy it would be to guess someone's name. And just be like, oh, yeah, your grandma. Your grandma's name is Caroline. And then you're like, whoa, how did you know that? I guess that's, like, a little bit of a stretch, but this one tells me that, like, that's why I don't listen to horoscopes or read them, at least.
Well, I know there was this one that I saw that she was just completely wrong about everything.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and she was on some television show. She was awful, and
she was just wrong the whole time.
Yeah, no, like there's this one couple that came in and they were like, we just want to know, like, what really happened with our daughter. Mm-hmm. And the psychic was like, I'm getting a strong feeling that she was shot. Like, I could see her getting shot. And the
no way.
Listen, and the parents were like, well, the autopsy, she drowned. Like, we know she drowned. We just want to know, like, how did she drown? And a psychic was like, no, I'm pretty sure she was shot. After, like, they had the body, there's the autopsy reports, and there was, like, several other, like, blatant, like, things like that. It was ridiculous.
That's what you call a quack.
Yes, it was awful.
That's funny. Hey, Nick, you have a great need for other people to like and admire you.
For INFJs?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, but I really don't.
At least you know it's fake. No, but that's what that whole Barnum effect is. I mean...
Oh, I thought you were reading something for INFJs. No.
See? I was like, there what? You go, dude. Perfect. That was our blind test. I just read it off and you were like, but I don't. But...
Well, that's how I know I wouldn't be fooled, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm highly perceptive.
I've used that on people before. People have been like...
If I would have been like, oh my God, that's so me.
Oh, that's me. That's totally me. What are you doing? How did you do that?
Well, it does say, like, INFJs tend to be sensitive, but I was like...
You're like, I ain't that sensitive.
I'm not. It's nice to be liked. I can agree with that. It's always nice to be liked by people, but I decided a little bit of time ago, like 5 minutes ago. No, I decided a while ago that I don't need it though. You know,
Yeah.
I don't need it. Like it would be nice if you and I can get along, but if not, I'm gonna live. It's gonna be okay. There are a very, very, very select few people that I want, that I really do like need their like approval. And even then, even if they didn't approve of me, I think I would still find a way to like move past that.
Yeah.
That's just me though. I'm not like,
No, I felt that way before.
and I hope everybody can get past that, because you don't need people to like you.
You really don't.
You'll do okay.
Anybody to like you.
I think that's when I started getting more respect from people, is when I started really building on who I was and like just being who I am, and then, you know, putting it out there, and then the people who don't like me tend to stay away from me, because most people don't like conflict. Most people don't want to be in contact with people they don't like. So if they don't like somebody, they just stay away from them, you know? And that's fine. You can do that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Y'all need to take this test though, for real.
If nothing else, just an exercise to see if you can be honest with yourself.
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
I think that's because you're going to get some questions, and they're not particularly tough questions, but you'll be like, is that really me? Or is that, you know, part of some other thing that I'm just lying to myself about.
no, yeah. I mean, like, I don't even want to ask the questions on here. I mean, I'll ask one. Let me see if there's one that I can look at.
You can just list off the first couple, like take the test.
You find it easy to stay relaxed, even when there's some pressure. That one's kind of like a teeter-tottering one sometimes for me, I guess.
You find it difficult to introduce yourself to other people. I don't.
Yeah, I don't.
You often get so lost in thoughts that you ignore or forget your surroundings. I do that.
I do that a lot. Yeah. That one was like a super strongly agree for me.
I put it just as the small agree.
Okay.
Because I do that. I just don't do it as often. You try to respond to your emails as soon as possible and cannot stand a messy inbox. I agree with that. You find it easy to stay relaxed even when there's some pressure. I agree with that. You usually do not initiate conversations. I agree with that.
Yeah.
You rarely do something out of sheer curiosity. I disagree with that. I often do that.
Curiosity killed the cat, dude.
Yeah, dude, we're catmen.
And satisfaction brought him back. You feel superior to other people.
I think I put agree on that one.
I think I also put agree on that one.
That one, I hated that question because
you hated answering.
Yeah, because I was like, "Fuck, man, I'm a little bit of dick." And we've talked about that on the podcast before. I know
we've talked about this. Yeah,
yeah.
We can't disagree with this one.
Yeah,
yeah.
I know that I'm not better than other people, but I still feel like I'm better than other people sometimes. But then I'll take a step back, and we talked about that though. Like, if you give yourself enough time, you'll immediately be like, "Nah, dude,
I'm fucking better." We've had that. It's
yeah.
I'm always right. Basically.
Yeah, they love me because I'm right.
Because I'm right.
Yeah, that's exactly what that is. I definitely, like, sometimes I can't lie about that. Sometimes I'll just feel better than other people, and I hate it, and I don't like that part of myself. But it's just a fact. It's just part of me. So it's whatever.
Being organized is more important to you than being adaptable. I disagree with that.
What was
organization?
Say that one more time.
Being organized is more important to you than being adaptable.
Ooh, that's a tough one because I think
tough.
I think that might be one of the ones I put neutral on because I think they're of equal importance. Almost, you know?
Yeah, organization is always last resort for me. So I
think organization is super important, but being in the military has taught me that most plans fail anyway. Yeah, and that you got to just figure shit out on the fly.
Okay. I mean, so
that's what I'm
realism
saying. Yeah, like
pops into place for a second there. Right? I mean,
but So, I think actually reasoning through that adaptability is more important than being organized. Because even the most well-laid plans are going to go awry.
Yeah, no matter what.
And if you don't have the ability to adapt and move on, then you're fucked. So
everything's fucked anyway. So
yeah. Oh wait, what?
What?
Oh
man,
you're supposed to be idealistic and altruistic.
Altruistic.
Your characteristics are literally too, like, your weaknesses are too idealistic and too altruistic.
Those are what I would like it.
Wait.
That's what I would like. All right, that's my dream right there.
Yeah, weaknesses: too idealistic, too altruistic, impractical, dislike dealing with data, takes things personally, difficult to get to know. I feel like you're none of those things, though. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay, I you know what? I can see you being a little impractical.
Am I?
Not really, but
I'm trying to see.
But you like numbers, you like data. You do take things personally sometimes.
Take things personally all the time.
I don't think so.
I just hide it
because I think you and I are like super close in terms of personality. That I didn't think you were that difficult to get to know.
But yeah, that's because we knew each
But I
other.
think we kind of clicked immediately.
click.
But outward facing, I think we're both a little bit harder to get to know.
Yeah, for sure. No, I 100%
think I am.
agree.
I'm not an overly private. I am a private person, but I'm not like.
It's not even about. I don't think it's about the privateness of you. I think it's just like when you meet other people that are nowhere near on the spectrum that we're on, right on the far side or whatever. At least the INF side.
Yeah.
They just can't relate to you at all. I don't know.
Yeah, I think. Well, I know for me, like. Yeah, it's pretty easy to tell. Like, I can tell pretty early on if I'm going to get along with somebody.
Yeah.
It's super easy for me because I can see immediately where that person's coming from. I think the loyalty to a fault thing that I was talking to you about earlier comes from the fact that even though that I know that a person and I won't get along, I will definitely still try to make it work with that person, though.
Yeah.
Even though, within the first 5 minutes of me meeting someone, I can almost always tell whether or not that person's going to be around for a while or not, you know?
Yeah.
But I'll still keep trying to I'll cause myself a lot of grief, especially in my relationships and stuff like that. That's more on the side of dating though too, that I see that more. But yeah.
I mean, this one says seek and value harmony. This is for me, I think. It says people with INFP personality type have no interest in having power over others. That's bullshit, dude. I am God. Just kidding. Oh man, no,
that one kind of. So that one's funny to me too because, I think for INFJs it says something similar where they appreciate harmony among people. I think when it comes to relationships with people, I do want to see harmony for other people.
Yeah,
I like bringing people together. I like people getting along. I like all that. But because I also do things out of sheer curiosity, including messing with people, you know, there's a part of you that has to like a little bit of chaos. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, there's definitely, random social situations I'll be in that I just feel like fucking with people. You know?
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? So I guess that's just kind of an outset of, my personality. And not the core of who, you know what I mean? I get it, but it's fascinating. I like exploring this type of stuff. I like figuring out how people tick and stuff like that. I think it's super cool.
Yeah, I mean, to answer the question from the beginning, though, I mean, this is the only test that I think is even remotely legit compared to anything else.
In my experience, this is closer to being legit, and I think it. You know what? If you take it and it does give you some direction, that's great.
Exactly.
And if it doesn't, then you know what you wanted. I think if you take the test and you don't get your intended result, I think maybe you kind of already know what you want.
Yeah.
At that point, it's like okay, if you're stuck between two decisions and then you flip a coin to see which one you want to do, you're either going to agree with the one you flipped, or you'll know which one you wanted.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think the same thing is going to apply here with a personality test, because if you think you're being completely honest and you come up with results that because I feel like if you're being completely honest with yourself on this on a personality test in general, your results are going to be fairly accurate.
Yeah,
because that's how the test is set up. But if you get results that you don't want, then there's something that you're probably holding back. That's what I think.
Yeah, for sure.
And even if you don't get the results you want, then you know yourself better than any computer test.
Yeah, exactly.
So just continue living your life.
I mean, conversely though, you could it could also help you. Like
that's what I'm saying is like it shouldn't make you like if you get the results from this test on any personality test and you start making radical changes in your life because of it, there's something wrong there. But if it helps you, if it reassures you about the way that maybe you think about something, or it reminds you like, oh hey, I can be a little quick to like be hard on myself or something, you know what I mean? Like give you that little bit of direction, a little bit of push to do something. That's good. That's great. That's awesome.
Yeah. I was going to say like basically if you took the test, shit, I just slipped from my brain.
Sorry.
No worries. It's good though. I like the test. Yeah, y'all should take it. Like I said.
We can do other episodes on it. We can actually like get in depth.
Yeah, I would like to do that.
With each one, like break each one down and like go through them. We can talk a little bit more about ours, I guess. Like for INFJs, like some famous ones, I think that's a pretty cool part. A lot of these sites, like Truity and 16 Personalities, will actually tell you like famous versions.
Oh yeah, famous people.
Yeah,
famous people that had this personality. Yeah. I guess it could help you if you knew a little bit about the person,
or give you some sort of frame of reference.
Insight,
So like for INFJs or advocates, as they're known on 16 Personalities and the counselor, I think the counselor is a more common like
name for it,
moniker for the INFJs. But advocates, you may know Martin Luther King, Nelson Mandela, Mother Teresa, Alanis Morissette, which that is so like random. Like the trend there, we had a decent trend, and then they threw in Alanis Morissette, and then it got amazing. And then Jimmy Carter, Nicole Kidman. I'm not going to say that because I know I can't pronounce it right. Jon Snow from Game of Thrones, Morgan Freeman, Aragorn from Lord of the Rings.
Nice.
Rose Whittaker from Titanic. Rose,
yeah.
And Aramis from Three Musketeers.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty solid cast of people. There's a few others I didn't list, but I don't want to list them.
Yeah, that's good.
And then I think for you, do you want to list yours?
I don't even think I'm on it right now. Yeah, you can list them if you have.
Okay, I got them up. So for INFJs, these are the mediators, or on Truity, the healers.
Yeah, I'm a healer.
William Shakespeare, J.R.R. Tolkien, Bjork,
nice.
Johnny Depp,
Johnny Depp,
Tom Hiddleston, Alicia Keys, Frodo Baggins.
What is up? I don't even know. I already asked you this today, but what is up with their freaking Lord of the Rings? Like, why do they have so many Lord of the Rings characters?
They have J.R.R. Tolkien, who's the author of it.
Maybe there's a reason. Are they saying it's? Sorry, are they saying it's the people inside of the movie?
No, they're saying it's the character from the story.
Oh, that makes a lot more sense then.
Yeah, not the actors and actresses. It's the literal character
still,
from the book.
There's still a why. I don't know why this is.
Well, I haven't read.
I guess it makes sense for pop
I've read a little
reference.
bit of The Hobbit. I'm still working my way through that, but I haven't read The Lord of the Rings.
Jeez.
But it's a very expansive universe.
Yeah.
So the characters are incredibly fleshed out, and we know a lot about them. So I think it might be easier to reference. And plus, Lord of the Rings is such a big, franchise that I think it's easier to reference things. Like, I know there's Star Wars characters in the other one. I think Han Solo's in one of the other ones. There's I think they do that to kind of give you a better, because you may not know a real life person, but everybody knows about Star Wars. Everybody knows about Lord of the Rings, at least a little bit. If you haven't seen them, you've heard of them, and you know of the more iconic characters,
pop culture references, and stuff about them. Yeah.
And so, and I think they're probably referencing the books because I don't see Frodo Baggins as an INFP from the movie at all.
Mm.
But I can see Aragorn as an INFJ. That makes a lot of sense to me. I am Aragorn. Nope. Yep. It's pretty nifty. I like it. It happened to line up for me. Plus, INFJs are pretty cool.
Are they?
They're the rarest. I don't know if they're cool. They're just the rarest personality type. That doesn't necessarily mean it's a good thing.
Mm. Yeah, dude, INFJ was so 10 years ago, bro. Just kidding. What if that was the evolution of most INFJs?
I actually have had friends who one of my friends, she told me it pretty much that thing changes for her every year.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But she was also telling me that she took it once, and then she got married. She took it again. Then she wound up having a kid. Then she took it again, and it changed each time. But at the same time, I haven't had anything big like that happen. You've also had a family in that time. You know what I'm saying? And you noticed that shift. So I think there is a big change
when it comes to life.
That's interesting because it seems to me whenever people have families, that's when it's a little bit more obvious for that change to happen.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the fact that time isn't yours anymore. That's the main one, I think.
Well, and it's also you just have a completely different. Everything's been reprioritized all of a sudden.
Sure.
All of a sudden you have this little person, this little version of you. You have to take care of.
I mean, time is. I just remember that being a huge thing. I remember having a shit ton of time to do whatever it was that I was trying to do.
Yeah.
Which is why I was able to do music when I was younger for a long time. I was able to I could do music for 48 hours straight without any anybody telling me I have to be responsible for anything. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I would just go to work. Yeah, that was one responsibility, and then I would go home and I'd be fine.
Right.
But it's no, you have to make sure that people are okay, that they're alive, and it's just a completely different thing. Yeah. But yeah, I mean,
but it's not a bad gig, right?
Yeah, no, I love my life right now, and I wouldn't change it. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, I think we're good though. This has been good shit.
I like this discussion, and we hope you guys like it too. Let us know if you do or you don't. Let us know if you want us to go back over and talk about more of the personalities. We can do some more reading and research and bring it back and talk about it a little bit. And you can hit us up at aseriouspodcast.com. You can email us at aseriouspodcast@gmail.com. We're on Twitter at aseriouspodcast. Do we have an Instagram now?
We got an Instagram. Yep.
Instagram. I don't think we post there yet.
I posted one. It was last week when we were recording. But
we have an Instagram now. We got.
Speaking of,
We're on iTunes, SoundCloud, Stitcher. No, we're not on SoundCloud anymore.
Yeah, so no, I stopped uploading to SoundCloud.
So we're on iTunes, Stitcher,
Podbean,
and Spotify.
Yeah,
Yes,
Spotify.
and Spotify. So you can find us there. It's pretty much if there's a platform for us, like Google Play Music and all that good stuff, we're on there. So go check us out. Let us know what you think of the show. What's your personality type? Let us know.
Exactly.
Go take the test and email us. We want to know. Was it accurate? Was it inaccurate? Did it help you do something? And I think that's about it, though. I'm Nick.
And I'm Julian.
This has been a Serious Podcast.